Hello, I'm Chris Rose and I'm a wildlife artist, and I've come to the wonderful house and gardens of friend and fellow wildlife artist Penny Wheatley, who has been doing a series of paintings of big cats, and I'm looking forward to going into her studio and seeing what she's been up to.
Chris, it's great to see you, and thank you so much for coming down all this way from the Highlands.
It's a pleasure, and it's wonderful to see this amazing artwork, Penny.
Oh, bless you.
And you know, and this wonderful painting of tigers fighting. They are fighting, are they? Can you explain it to me?
Yes, this is the male tiger.
Right.
And this is the female, and basically he harasses her and she gets really passionate and angry, and she attacks him and he just puts up with it, and he goes on sort of working himself up like that, and eventually he overpowers her and has his way with her.
Oh, okay.
So that's really...
So this is more of a sort of a courtship picture.
This is cat passion. It's called cat passion, actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
And
lovely.
It's really their way of making love.
Right. Okay. in a lively fashion. So no, it's
painful too, I should think.
I bet it is. Yeah. No, but it's wonderful, and you've absolutely captured the essence of tiger and the movement.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful piece. Really super.
Oh, Chris, thank you. Chris, I'm sorry we're having to hold this painting, but my framer couldn't manage to get here in all the snow.
Oh, okay.
So it hasn't got a wire on the back.
That's not a problem, but it's another lovely tiger painting.
It's cat passion again. They're really two together, and at this point, she's lying on the ground now, still furious, but he's getting closer to getting her.
He's winning her over.
I'm afraid he'll win in the end.
So
they always do.
Right. So this one is really the sort of follow-on from the other
from the one we just looked at. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And again, you know, and I love this the swirling here and the movement involved, and you can really see in the face here the anger and the passion. And it's sort of, for us, I think it's hard to believe that...
It's paradoxical.
Yes, that ultimately it will end up in a mating and presumably cubs and everything else.
But sometimes humans are like that when you think of it, aren't they?
Well, maybe they are.
Sadomasochism.
Right.
And I think that's
in the cat world.
Yeah, right. But I think in the human world, sadomasochism, and we're seeing it here in the cat world.
Yes, yeah. No, it's another wonderful piece.
Oh, bless.
So, do you have any more tiger paintings?
I do, yes.
Right. Well,
in fact, I'm saving the best one to the end.
Oh, I shall very much look forward to seeing that. Anyway, another lovely piece, Penny.
Thank you so much.
Really super.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Penny, this is not a tiger painting.
No.
It looks like a cheetah hunting an impala.
You're
again,
right.
you know, fantastic movement in the piece. So tell me, how do you get your reference for these paintings? Because have you been to, for example, Africa, and have you seen the big cats, or where does the inspiration come from for these pictures?
Well, the inspiration really comes from, the original inspiration comes from my own cats, actually. Obviously, I've seen cats in zoos and cats endlessly on film. Yeah. But I've got this chronic illness called ME, which means I can't walk any distance or stand very long, and so I rely on my own cat, who's my model, and basically the cheetah is my favourite cat. Because they are so fast and so agile and so flexible. You know, their spines almost bend in half to propel them along. They do about 30 yards in one galloping step. Wow. I may have got the exact distance wrong, but anyway, a huge distance. And they're both very fast and agile animals, but the cheetah's the fastest animal on the planet. And So she's going to get that impala.
Yeah, it looks
I'm
like
afraid so. She's just on top of it.
she's just on top of it now. Yeah,
Afraid she is.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So you use video and still images and
yes,
so on?
I do. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I have to. Plus as I say, my own cats, which I study all the time.
Well, you clearly have an innate knowledge of feline anatomy.
Yes, I do. I do. I have studied the anatomy.
Yeah, and it shines through in the work.
Oh, thank you.
It's very, very accurate. Well, when I say accurate, it's authentic, and yet you've managed to leave enough to the imagination in the picture to allow the viewer to fill in the blanks, so to speak.
Oh, good.
No, it's absolutely wonderful, and again, full of energy and life.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Good.
no, it's really lovely.
Good.
Yeah, no, I look forward to seeing some more cheetah pictures.
Yes, well, I think cheetah pictures, I think sometimes are my best ones. I don't know.
Great, excellent.
I just adore the cheetah.
So, on a snowy, wintry day here in the Scottish borders,
Yes.
what better picture to look at than this wonderful snow leopard?
That's right. I think his snow is probably, or is it a she? No, I think that's a he.
Mm-hmm. How do you tell the difference?
Well, one's much bigger than the other.
Oh, okay.
There's far too much fur to tell any other way. Yes, and so this is just an indication of the sort of general woodland. It's sort of an abstraction of a woodland background, basically, and this is a sort of snowy kind of opening that he's rushing down with his great thick paws. And
yeah, wonderful, wonderful. And the eyes, you have wonderful sort of concentration in the eyes. Yeah. No, that's a lovely painting. Really super. And there's that sense of poised power that you seem to have captured in the picture, which is wonderful.
Right, yes. They're so in control of themselves, snow. All the big cats, they're the most perfect athletes on the planet.
Did you ever see the footage? I'm sure you have. Funnily enough, filmed by a friend of mine, Mark Smith.
Oh, Mark Smith, I know Mark Smith. Yes, great filmmaker.
That wonderful snow leopard chasing.
Of course, that's what started it all off for me.
Oh, right.
When we did the discussion about my oil paintings.
Yes.
That started.
Snow leopard.
The snow leopard started it all off.
Right.
Yeah.
But amazing, the snow leopard tumbling through the air.
That's right.
And you think they're both going to die.
You do. Crash on the rocks.
And only one did die, and it wasn't the snow leopard.
I'm afraid
so.
no.
Yeah. That was an incredible piece.
I bet it was pretty bruised and in pain after that, though.
Yeah, incredible.
Well, this painting, Chris, is, as you can see, totally without movement. But nobody's tracing anybody, nobody's killing anybody. And it's a bit of a sloppy date picture. It's about mother love, and I did it as a sort of contrast, and also to show that there is this soft side of the big cats when they're such wonderful mothers. So it's a much more still painting than most of my paintings.
It's nice to see the contrast between, as you say, the hunting predator, the top predator, and the action, to see something that is softer and really nice to see that side of the big cats.
I do tend to do an awful lot of cats killing or cats fighting, or because that's so exciting. But there's this side of them as well, and they're so beautiful.
And it's lovely that you've caught that mother child, I suppose, intimacy, which is really nice, and the composition is wonderful. How did you come to that composition? Was this how do you work? Do you work out compositions on doodles first and then go into the finished painting, or do you start on the finished work?
I thought I could see a triangle in it, so it was sort of basically a kind of triangular painting, and I was using film or photographs to help, and then And then I just let go of all of that, and I just paint instinctively.
Right, yeah.
So that's basically what happened.
Yeah, it's lovely. And actually the triangle theme is repeated in various elements, ears and nose and, you know, even eyes in places. It's nice yeah, no, that's a theme that works really well.
Oh.
It's a nice contrast to the action-packed
yes.
pictures that.
And it's quite fun having a bit of contrast to, you know, to just do something a bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. So Penny, here's another cheetah chasing an antelope across the African plains. Yeah. Again, it looks like, and I've seen cheetah videos much like you, and it seems that cheetahs deliberately trip up the prey, so they chase after them, then trip them up on the back legs, and then they catch them. And this is seemingly what you've attempted to portray here very well, I have to say.
I have done quite a lot of tripping because it's the sort of final awful moment. It's the climax of the chase.
Yeah.
And so I've done 3 paintings like this, one of which is has been sold and gone. It's the best one, unfortunately. But anyway, this is another one like it, and it's the moment of tripping and being right on top.
And I'm interested that you really haven't dwelled at all on the spots and so on the cheetah itself. You've just concentrated on the movement and the structure of the animal. Was that a deliberate ploy from your part, or?
Well, that's partly how the painting evolved, in that I just it was more kind of exact before I laid into it to bring movement to it and take out detail, because I mean, if you're looking at a cheetah galloping across the desert, you're not going to be seeing everything exactly. No. So I was really aiming to get the movement.
Yeah.
And so everything is about movement when I do it. It's about how the psychology of looking at movement, and I have to guess how that works,
right,
and try and reproduce it so it does work.
Well, very often detail can kill movement.
Exactly.
And I mean, there are little elements of spots here and there,
that's
and
right,
that's pretty much all you need, I think.
Well, there were more spots to start with, but once I'd finished with it, there weren't very many left.
You rub the spots out.
Yeah.
But and again, you know, just the way that you've observed form and the tail wiggling around, and the heads of a cheetah is always absolutely still and locked on the prey, and you definitely have that captured in this piece.
Yes, you're right. When they're galloping, their head is pretty still and the body's moving. And basically, I have kind of added the sort of shape of the movement, the psychological shape, which is a kind of arabesque. And I've brought that in with a wet brush, just to sort of carve it up, but also to give the person looking at the painting an idea of how they're going to see the movement, which is as a kind of arabesque of waves of movement as they hurl across the grass.
And have you referenced ballet dancers, in fact, in that whole interpretation of movement?
I don't think I've referenced ballet dancers so much as ballet dancers also move.
Yeah.
It's movement and how I portray movement, which is what I like to really study and specialise in.
Yeah, and you do it magnificently, I have to say.
Oh, bless, that's so kind, thank you.
So, Penny, tell me about this one. This is a lion chasing a warthog and clearly going to get the warthog by the looks of it. Another fascinating piece. Is there a story behind this?
Yes, once again, it's my favourite theme, isn't it? This moment of finality when you know the chase is over. But actually, I've painted so many big cats just about catching animals, and their death is going to happen any minute, and these beautiful impalas and gazelles and all of that. But when I painted this painting, do you know, I was really in tears, because something about the little blue piglet, it's only a baby, and I really was very upset about the tiny ugly little piglet being killed.
You were killing the piglet?
Yes. I mean, normally with all these beautiful animals, you'd think I'd be in tears far more often, but something about the piglet that really got me this time.
That's fascinating. Here's another wonderful lion painting you've done, and these look like they're two fighting males, is that right?
Up to a point, it's right. They are two males, but they're two young ones, and it's a play fight.
Oh, I think here's Anushka just
Oh,
wandered past.
Anushka, yes. Just play fighting, Chris. You know, like all young animals will. So it's nice for a change that nobody's going to get damaged.
Yeah, oh right. The claws are in. The claws are in.
Oh, I don't know about that, but there won't be
Really?
serious damage
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah, but again, you've got lovely movement coming in here. This circularity here, which is great, and the whole the sense of power and movement. And I'm interested actually in the way that you've created these almost rubbed out spots. So how do you go about this? Do you paint the animal and then rub bits out, or do you how do you work?
Yes, you're right. That's sort of more or less what I do. I developed this method of getting movement and overall psychological shape of the movement, as I call it. I started it with drawings and using rubbers and taking bits out and
right.
smudging bits with the rubber dipped in pence, or you know.
Oh right.
And I
Okay.
could make sort of smudges that would give the indication of movement and draw the eye in the right sort of direction. In this case, another arabesque, really, isn't it? And with a circle there.
Yeah, it's a lovely flow through this. Really, really super. Yeah, a lovely flow through it. Excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Here's another cheetah chasing a gazelle.
My favourite subject.
Your favourite subject. And I'm interested in this one because you've taken a very brave step to almost hide the legs and the feet. And I mean, it works, but you know, a lot of people would paint it as you have done in the past, with the legs outstretched, you know, either end. But this time the legs are really, his front leg here is right up there, and these back legs are tucked right in. And again with the gazelle, the front legs are right up here, so they're clearly in the middle of a high-speed chase.
Very, very high-speed chase, yes, and I've made a very sort of long painting with this one.
So Penny, another lovely mother and cub picture here. The last one was the lions.
Yeah.
And you've done the same with the tigers here.
Yes, but the last one, if you remember, was the little cub was all snuggling against his mummy, and it was very sweet and gentle and quiet. But this one, the young male cub, and he's challenging his mother.
Oh, right.
It's a mock challenge,
Yeah.
and he's going to strike out at her.
Right.
And she is pretending to be a bit annoyed with him, but of course she has to put up with it.
Right.
Like we all do, you know, with kids and stuff. But so, anyway, it's quite nice to do something sort of gentle and sweet occasionally.
Yeah. And I'm intrigued to know whether or not there are other artists who have inspired your work, or are there other artists that you admire in particular? Or is your inspiration purely from the animals?
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? Well, there are some excellent wildlife artists, but I think mainly it's something I've evolved. I don't think I'm painting big cats terribly like anybody else. No, not really. Not very good answer for that. But
No, that's fine. I've certainly not seen anyone painting big cats in the same way as you do. So, but yeah, lovely as always.
Oh, thank you.
A different cat this time, a caracal, if I'm correct in saying.
You're absolutely correct, Chris. Yes.
And talk us through this one. So what's the caracal doing in this picture?
Well, it's one of the smaller wild cats that the chairman of Pansera, John Ayres, is very keen on small wild cats,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a particular fondness for them. And so I was looking into small wild cats, and I absolutely fell in love with this creature, the caracal. It's sort of a bit like a puma on a smaller scale, and again very athletic and very attractive with the little lynx-like
Ear tufts.
ear tufts. Yes, that's right. And so this one's very much a kind of horizontal painting where I've tried to show the movement of, which is hardly at all, none of my arabesques, but just straight, hardly moving movement of stalking.
Mm-hmm.
So she's stalking.
Very nice.
This painting of a caracal, Chris, is examining what caracals are well known for doing. In the big cat world, or in the wild cat world, I should correct myself, because that is not a big cat. There's 7 big cats among the 40 wild cats. So what caracals are best known for is they jump higher than any other cat.
Oh, right.
They spring off the ground, the most enormous height compared to the size of them. So I wanted to do a couple of paintings of caracal leaping up into the air. They catch birds, you see, that's what they're aiming.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be jumping high to pounce on something on the ground.
No, they're actually leaping for birds.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that is just catching the caracal, doing what caracals do best and better than any other wild cat.
A caracal again.
Yes, this is the end of the story, I think. She's caught it, hasn't she?
So we see what she was stalking now.
Yes, it's a sort of little rat. I'm not quite sure what it is, but
Right.
it's a sort of little rat, small prey.
A small rodent.
Yes, a small
We'll call
rodent.
it. We'll call it a small rodent.
I think that sounds more technical. Yes.
Very happy with that.
Yes.
Another fighting tigers. Are these really fighting this time, or is this for real?
I think that this one is actually 2 males fighting.
Right.
And they bloody mean it. They really do.
And would they do each other a lot of damage, or?
They can do.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
they can do. Their anger and the speed of the fight is very, very intense. And it happens in bursts, like fireworks going off, you know?
Right.
Absolute bursts of energy, and they tear into each other. And they don't give a damn about anything. They're just blind with their passion.
And you've really captured that. And, particularly love the head here. This one's clearly being battered around the head by the other one.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll give as good as it gets.
Well, I don't know. I
In the next few
think
seconds.
he's going to win, don't you?
You're probably right. Well, this, I think, perhaps of all of your paintings, evokes the feeling of movement more than anything else.
Does it?
Yeah, I think there's so much going on here, and different lines and movements and so on.
They are very extreme.
Yeah, and this cheetah, you can tell, is on a really fast turn. That hind leg is stuck out.
Yes.
I'm amazed that you can kind of make these things up almost, and it's all so convincing.
Well, it was great fun doing this one because she's after this younger one.
Right.
And another impala is just jumping over the whole scene behind them and getting away fine because she's just got her eye on this young one. And so I did try to make this very extreme, all these movements and so on. I'm not so sure about having quite such strong colours. What do you think, Chris?
I think the colours work absolutely fine.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, that was fun doing that one.
I bet.
It's one I did of the trio of cheetahs chasing prey. I particularly like this one because of the shape of the composition.
And I'm intrigued that you've allowed the cheetah to disappear off the side of the frame, actually. So the end of the tail and the tip of the foot are missing.
Well,
was that deliberate, or did you just run out of paper?
Tell you the truth, I can't remember. But anyway, it's like, you know, you just caught the shot sort of thing.
No, I completely understand that, and I think you don't always have to have the whole animal in a picture.
No, exactly.
Well, another pencil work here, Penny. It looks like another cheetah to me.
You're right, it's a cheetah.
Yeah, tell us about this one.
Again, these are studies of speed and impressions of speed. I just really enjoyed doing this one. It was a little bit like I mean, just thinking of that just now, it's a little bit like a sort of star spinning through the sky, isn't it?
Oh,
I don't know.
And you've used rubbing out technique here that you talked about.
Yes, and also using a dirty rubber to carry some of the
carry some of the lines through,
which are psychological lines of movement, which I think helps the viewer feel the speed.
Absolutely.
Because it's about feeling rather than seeing.
Yeah.
And if you see a photograph of speed, you're going to see either blur or exactness if it's a photograph that is taken at a very high speed. What I'm trying to do with drawing or painting is to paint the emotional response to looking at speed, which is not a photograph.
No, and you certainly couldn't reproduce this in a photograph.
No.
Wow, this is a real showstopper, Penny. This is a puma, is it?
This is a puma. Right. Yes. Almost my favourite of all the cats, puma and the cheetah.
Right.
And the caracal.
Yeah. And tell us a bit more about this.
Well, the puma, of course, is very well known for living in Patagonia. They live in America too, and they live in other countries, but they are the kind of classical cat of Patagonia, which is one of the most fantastic bits of landscape in the world, with its crazy mountains, you know. And the puma is the cat. And so this is a chase, full on in the snow. And
I'm interested that how you've achieved this impression of snow spraying up from the paws or something like that. So how have you done that?
I'm glad you noticed that, because this is a technique I've developed. With it's actually, I have a very small drill.
Right.
with sort of sandpaper on it.
Oh.
And I actually smash into the paint and smash through the paint with
So you've taken it out rather than putting paint on.
Yeah.
Right. You've captured the eyes beautifully. And anyone who has a cat or knows big cats knows that the eyes are absolutely key to everything. That's just an amazing look. That is so puma.
They're very focused, aren't they? I mean, like I talked about the concentration before, it's just absolutely, it's like a laser, isn't it? Their eyes.
Well, Penny, we've come to the final painting in this fascinating series. This, I guess, is your flagship piece.
It's my flagship painting.
Yeah, wonderful piece of fighting tigers. So tell us a bit about this painting and perhaps the reasons for doing all of these paintings.
Yes, indeed, because the reasons for doing all of these paintings is a very important one. First of all, I'll just talk you through the painting. It's It's an impression of the two male tigers fighting over her. She's pretty powerless. She just has to watch, and whoever wins will have her.
Right.
And she can't do much about it. So it's not exactly a love match, and as you can see, she's not exactly thrilled to bits.
You've managed to convey that very well. I see in this picture, Penny, that you've got a circularity going on again. Talk us through that.
Well, this time it is a circularity. It's not my usual arabesque of them running and things like that, but this time I just see these tigers fighting. I saw a film of them fighting, and the general impression was so fast, it was really rather like a whirlwind. And I just saw it as a circular whirlwind of passion and rage and anger and sexual desire and all the rest of it. She's completely out of the picture. But I've tried to introduce all kinds of circular feel to it all the way through.
Yeah.
But anyway, all these paintings in this selection, because there's more of them, are for an exhibition I'm going to be doing to raise money for big cat conservation.
Wow.
And the oil paintings that you interviewed me with before, these watercolours and some more watercolours and some more drawings are all going to be used for an exhibition which is probably going to take place in London, hopefully next year fairly soon, and it's going to be for money to be raised by Panthera.
Right.
And Big Cats Sanctuary in Sussex, and Wildlife Vets International, with whom I've done an enormous amount of work over the years.
Right. And so are you donating a proportion of the proceeds? Or?
Well, no, I'm donating the whole bloody lot, actually.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so generous.
Well, I just, it's my life's mission, and I just want to leave this planet knowing that I've done my little bit.
Done what you can.
Done what I can, yeah.
Penny, I can't wait for the show. I think it's just an absolutely stunning selection of work.
Oh, thank you for your encouragement.
And I wish you the very best of luck with it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much too.
Well, that's been a fascinating afternoon with artist Penny Wheatley. I'm certainly looking forward to her exhibition of big cat paintings, and I think you'll join me in wishing her well in her endeavours.